a diplomatic fight, is now on his way to the United States. Chen Guangcheng is on board a flight for Newark, New Jersey with his family. The dissident escaped from a rural village last month where he was under house arrest. He then sought refuge in the American embassy in Beijing. Chen crusaded for the disabled and fought against forced abortion in rural China. But he angered officials and was convicted in 2006 on what supporters say were fabricated charges. For more on the latest developments in this story, we're joined now by Bob Fu, president and founder of humanitarian group China Aid. He's working on a sensitive project in South Asia, and for that reason, we have agreed not to disclose his exact location. I understand, Bob Fu, you did have a chance to speak with Mr. Chen at the Beijing airport. How did he seem when you spoke to him?
Yes, Nancy, I spoke with him for six times before he departed to the U.S. And he sounds very upbeat and a little in a hurry. Of course, I could detect he is deeply concerned about his other extended family members who will be left behind and who are actually facing increasing pressure and persecution as a part of the revenge against his escape.
So all of this happened fairly quickly from the sound of it. Does he actually know how long he can stay in the U.S.?
Well, obviously, the New York University has extended a visiting scholar program for him to study over there. It could run, 2 years, maybe 3 years, but he does want to preserve the liberty to go back to China to continue his work for advancing freedom and rule of law in China.
Tell me more about some of the concerns that he has expressed, and clearly you have, for some of Mr. Chen's relatives who remain in China and some of the supporters who actually helped him escape house arrest. Just what are you hearing about how they might be treated or how they've been treated already?
Yes, Nancy, as we all know that after Chen was found missing from his home, and the authority has taken very violent revenge against his extended family members. His brother and his sister-in-law both were beaten very, very severely on the evening of April 26th, and then his nephew, Mr. Chen Guangcheng, was also beaten very violently for 3 hours, and then he, purely out of self-defense, he wounded identified guards. So he is now charged with the trumped-up charge called intentional homicide. Could be sentenced to up to, a death sentence.
So having said all of that, how difficult a decision was it for Mr. Chen to come to the U.S., or was that decision made for him because he could no longer stay in China?
Well, it's a very delicate situation. He was agreeing for the first deal reached by the U.S. and China. He was hoping that he could stay in China to continue his fight with the condition for his safety and freedom and his own civil rights to be guaranteed under the Chinese law. But obviously, after he walked out of the U.S. embassy, he found that could not happen under the current circumstances. So that's why he wants to move to the U.S. to study and rest for a period of time first. Right. And certainly he will continue to speak up for the human rights abuses, especially his immediate concern for the family members, like we mentioned. It's a little,
right,
bittersweet experience.
Okay, well, we'll certainly follow all developments in the story. Bob Fu, good to talk to you. Thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you, Nancy.